Okay, so here are some examples of what I learned from rozbots class about like roboting and illusions and things like that at MFF. The first thing he taught us was creating a fixed point, and he said to kind of imagine holding a coin in a certain spot, and that coin is going to be your fixed point. So you're going to keep your arm in this direction no matter where you go. And it becomes this illusion that, you're just kind of holding this coin in the air. Things like that. Some examples of what you can do with this is you can start here and you can move backwards, but as you're moving backwards, you're kind of going to extend your arm, because if you move backwards like this, your whole body's just going to move back. So you have to extend your arm while you're moving backwards to maintain that illusion, and try to keep it in the same place. If you move forward, your arm is going to go back. If you move to the side, you want to make sure that your hand is kind of always maintaining that illusion of holding that coin in this one fixed point. If you're going down, your arm is lifting a tiny bit like this. So if you want to go up, your arm has to extend down. So that's a good example of a fixed point, just keeping the illusion of having something directed on that point. If you add another fixed point, you can keep the illusion in between these two fixed points. So the fixed point is being in between this space. So if I were to hold two coins and go like this, you see that the space is still in between them, and that's going to be our fixed point with using both of our hands. So we might have to turn our wrists in different directions to maintain that illusion. And what we can do with this is we can travel with it. So what we're kind of doing here is like we're kind of making pipes in a way. That's like an illusion, like you're holding onto a pipe. If you were to use both coins, it would be vaguely the same thing, just a different concept of that fixed point. So you could have your hands on a flat surface And the hardest thing about this is maintaining that illusion between those two spaces. So using these two, we'll just do, just these bars to the side. And what we can do here is we can kind of change it up. So this is our now fixed point. What we can do is we can take this hand and we can bring it up here. And we have the same fixed point idea, but we just kind of changed where this space was. So instead of being in this area, it's now in this area. And if we want to change it over here, that's all we do. We just put our hand over there. And we can take this and we can either move over here or we can bring it to us. So we can move over here or bring it to us. It's in a similar concept to miming, basically, where you're keeping that illusion of the fixed point. So that's pretty much it for like fixed point stuff. The other thing he mentioned was sectioning, whereas it is moving different parts of your body in sections to create an illusion. And I think the best examples of this would be, I think, head isolation. So like you like move your head to the left, and then as you're moving your shoulders over, your head is actually moving back to this side. Another example would be waving. Waving is simply sections of your body. Because your body doesn't naturally move in a wave, it ends up looking like that. He said that we can combine the concept of a fixed point with these sections. So using waving, we can create a fixed point somewhere, anywhere we want. And we're going to choose that point and follow along with it. So I'm going to choose, let's see, about right here. This will be my fixed point in this area. So wherever I'm holding this coin. And for waving, what we're going to do is going to use that fixed point. So as our waves go into like this fixed point, you need to make it clear that the illusion is you're kind of like traveling through it, but it's kind of hard to explain. So let's say it's here, and our body is moving. So now the wave starts, our wave is ending here, whereas we started in the same place. So it's pretty much that. The other thing he mentioned was textures. And he gave us an example of gliding. This room's god-awful for gliding. So the first thing he did was tell us about the moonwalk, where it's a toe, heel, and then you switch like this. Toe, heel. The heel always drags back, and the toe is always this kind of support. When you put it together, it looks like that. I would put my heel more on the ground, but friction. Side glides. Textures are just adding these. Textures are adding these different details to your movements to make them different. So you could go in front, or you can side glide from the back. You could side glide in kind of a strobing movement, or you can go really fast and then slow. Another example would be this basic box cut here. And we're going to just kind of do this, but we're going to add different textures with it. So that's fast and slow. So depending on the song and what the rhythm and the beat is like, you can adjust these textures however you would like. So if the song goes dun dun dun, you go bum 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 bum. If it goes, you know, slow motion. If it's going crazy, you know, just do whatever. You can add different concepts like roboting. I forget what he said this concept was called. It was like called wagging or something, where he just kind of bobbed his head in like the robotic bounce movement. So it was like, so even that simple move down here, it could be just different textures that you're adding to this. And one thing that I thought of was adding some concepts in different styles, or just adding concepts in general to different styles. So while you might not see pops incorporated into other styles, like with whacking, so when you go like this, I think that's something that's interesting that you can do. I think that's pretty much all I can remember about the workshop, but I have notes and I will post them with the video.